Oh, there goes my phone.
Good day, everybody, and welcome to the Coffee Break with Roland. And we're doing this in lieu of a Saturday morning marketing Smarties, but because we're maybe not as smart as we usually are, well, we're certainly not as focused as we usually are. There is no specific subject for the day. We're just having a coffee break. We're having fun, so let's see. I've got myself broadcasting on like 5 different platforms, so hang on one second, okay?
I was going to go in and see what I see from your link in Facebook.
It looks like
It
maybe
actually
Karen.
started about 5 seconds after the event started.
It did, eh?
Yeah.
Maybe Karen will be joining us. It looks like just got back from Target. I'll call after the show. Oh, she's not going to join live, but that's okay. But anyway, let me actually go through and make sure that I'm not broadcasting on 5 platforms all at once here. But lo and behold, this is the first time for me.
Oh yeah, I can see my picture there. It's playing.
Yeah, it's in Facebook and it's live and it's going. So we have conquered a few little issues that we're interested in, and making some steps towards expanding our broadcasting and opportunities there. But before I go on any further, let me say hi to everybody in the green room and who we have joining us in our live recording today. And the first would be Bill Graham, who is also one of my regulars on Saturday Morning Marketing Smarties, who handles so efficiently all of our comment tracking, which I haven't pushed him to actually do today because we're just having an open house conversation at a coffee break. Hi, Bill. How you doing?
Good. Thank you, Roland. My name is Bill Graham. My website is Bill Does Belize, and I provide unbiased information, or what I refer to as the unbelievable truth, for those people that are looking to make a permanent move to Belize. And I will be monitoring the comments just in case, I guess in a couple of areas today, because I'll be looking at the YouTube as well. But yeah, it's a pleasure to be here again and to join Andrew and Roland.
And just because we have so many laminations of things going on, it might be good to note early on that if you are commenting in YouTube, they are accumulating, or are they accumulating in our unified chat? Right now, I don't have it added, do I? Let's see. I will enable YouTube chat. So now that I've enabled YouTube chat, if you happen to comment in YouTube, it will show up and be recorded and archived in our unified chat, which is where we, for the time being, we store the events and so forth. So before I go on and get caught up in all of the procedural stuff, let's not forget that we have a couple more people in the green room. And Andrew Hatchett joined us early on today, and he's been talking since almost 10:30 or so, and we've been having a great conversation. So, Andrew, tell everybody a little bit about yourself and say hi.
Good morning. I'm Andy Hatchett. I run the User Live community on Google. That's my main focus. We help with Hangouts on Air, business Hangouts, or any apps you might use while you're using those things. We're on twice a day, 10:30 a.m. and 8 p.m. Central, Monday through Thursday. On Friday, we are on at noon. And that's what I do. Basically, I just wander the net and find interesting articles that might help people and post them up there. Anybody's got a question, come in live and ask it. If we don't know the answer, we probably know somebody who does. And that's it.
Thank you, Andrew. And of course, the people in the green room, I can automatically say that I endorse their shows and I endorse their efforts and their contributions to these communities and what we do as a show, even on the Saturday Morning Marketing Smarties. So Andrew Hatchett is one to follow, and I recommend his community, and I hope you join it, and I hope you play with that field also. And likewise, we have Roland Fulsang in the green room today. She joins us, has her own show, the the
Being your
success
own
circle.
CEO.
Being your own CEO and the success circle on Tuesdays. And Roland, give us a little bit of information about yourself. Say hi, please.
Well, good morning. It's fun to be here, and we've already started a really nifty conversation. But just a little bit about where you can find my Being Your Own CEO. I have a Google Plus community where most of us post things, and you can participate in my Hangouts there. Let's see what else. I also have a collection called, well, I have several, but I have one that is called Supports for Solopreneurs. I'm particularly interested in working with solopreneurs and helping them achieve their very best. I do that through coaching and through some training, whatever seems to be the right thing to do. So thank you for inviting me, Roland.
You're very welcome. And we really appreciate what you do. You're consistently, every Tuesday you're there. You have worthwhile shows. You have some great people on your ranks of your green room staff. And there are definitely some great conversations going on. I try to make it whenever I can on Tuesdays.
It's always nice to have you.
Well, thank you. And
Bill and Andrew.
Yeah, it's like, we've got our own good old boys club for me, don't we? And we're having a lot of fun.
You've got to change you've got to change that terminology. It's got to be old boys and girls.
That's true. Well, I'm just.
I couldn't let you get away with that.
Yeah. Well, there's a feminist in every bunch, and I have to learn this. No, I'm just kidding. I actually had an accounting with a feminist once. I had dated her sister. This is, 3.5 decades ago. And I was a pretty nice guy. I wasn't much of a macho man type of person. But I sat down in her living room the first night I was dating with this girl. Oh, John says he's on a tablet in his hotel room, so it isn't working too well. So he may not be able to actually join us in the green room. But he's out there commenting, and thank you very much, John. Nice seeing you, man. But anyway, back to the feminist. She took into me. She was like, oh, the new boyfriend, okay. So she started talking to me and just gave me the wide-eyed, the whole dissertation about feminism, this and that, and this is what people do, and guys are blah, blah, blah. And she went on for like 20 minutes, and I was just sitting there appalled at this charade of information that I had got unwarrantedly. And I thought to myself, wow, how am I going to handle this? I mean, she's going to want a response from me, And so she got done, and all of a sudden she stopped talking. And she looked at me, she inspected me, and says, you're handling this pretty well. And my answer to her was, yeah, well, for the most part, you're not talking about me.
Right.
And she said, oh. And then we've been perfectly good friends after that. But she wanted to fight, and I didn't provide it, and it wasn't an issue for me. So feminism was fine as far as I was concerned, and that seemed to work out for me. And luckily, that's just my nature. That's how I handle most things. Although, if you've watched this show for anything more than a few weeks, you do know that Roland runs into certain things that he just cannot stomach. And I've been on, as Lowell Ann would say, I've been on my rants from time to time, and I can carry on pretty effectively on a subject.
Oh, your rants are great fun.
But, you have to stand for something. And not only do we process a lot of information here, but it's not all good information. So, when we run into stuff that is inaccurate or doesn't necessarily help people to listen to, I'm going to speak up and I'm going to say, I don't think that this is the best way to handle it, or I don't think this is the best information. Or you could use this stuff, but beware that these are some other ramifications. People need to be informed, and if you're going to go out there and buy a shiny object, just know that the shiny object has an ulterior and additional side to it, and possibly some other ramifications, because not all shiny objects are only shiny. And that basically implies the impression or the perspective or the view is shiny, but that's definitely not all the aspects of whatever it is that you're buying. So I just say buyer beware at all times. So anyway, okay, I've started out as a coffee break, and now I'm ranting and raving on stuff that I believe. But
well, it's too hard. It's too hard to be politically correct anymore, anyway, because it doesn't matter what stance you take. I mean, I remember before we left for Belize and we were in Canada, I was walking up to a store one day, and 15, 20 feet behind me was a lady, and I opened the door and I held the door for her, and I got reamed out for holding the door for her. So. And my response was kind of similar to yours, was that I wasn't holding it because you were a woman. I was holding it because it's common courtesy to hold it for any person. And but anyway,
you just happen to be a woman, so don't take it personally. Wow.
Yeah. So
that's an interesting circumstance. But I found that people get sensitive about stuff, and then they get hypersensitive. You can be intending something so radically different as you walk down a hallway, and yet the people will look at you and get some impression from your countenance to say, oh, well, so-and-so he's a this or he's a that, he's thinking this about me. And I think people are very hyper-conscious of what they look like and how people interpret who they are and what they are. And instead of just being themselves, because that's the thing you can't help, right? You can't help being yourself. I think that people worry too much about the impression on what they make on other people. And so as long as we're concerned about making those impressions, you all right there, Andrew?
Oh, I'm fine, but as you probably know, I really don't worry about the impression I make on other people.
Nor do I.
It's like, baby, here I am. You can take me or leave me, and I really don't give up. Well, whichever it is, I got a note, and unfortunately, they hit when my blood sugar was a little low. I circled you last week. Why have you not circled me back? And I just simply wrote the lady. I said, that is the most presumptuous statement I think I have ever heard in my life. Why would you presume that I would want to circle you back? I looked at your profile. You're not interested in any of the things that I'm interested in. I have no idea why you circled me to begin with. And until you can give me that, lady, I'm not interested in you. Goodbye. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't suffer fools gladly, and self-righteous ones not at all. That's the way I am. And I have not circled anybody in probably 18 months, except for the people that actually join my community or that I know are following one of my 2 collections. Those are the only, because I know they're interested in what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. Therefore, we share a common interest. But I'm not going to circle somebody I've got no common interest with just to drive up my numbers or theirs.
Oh. So well, and I'll tell you something else that I've been finding in Google Plus lately. There's an awful lot of advertisement there, and I find I've determined that if I have happened to have followed that person, and I see them doing that advertising, I unfollow them immediately, because I don't think Google Plus is the place to advertise.
No, I agree with you. I do agree with you there. Google Plus and really any social media is a place to build relationships and to communicate with people. Yeah. And if you do that, you have the opportunity to do everything else that you need to do. But if you don't communicate with people, it's just too superficial for me. Mm-hmm. And this is what we've been discussing here. You say, Andrew and all of you, when you comment about the Google Plus and like it's presumptuous that you would want me to circle you back and all these things, that's indicative of the nature of Google Plus and the true relationships that you build in Google Plus, as in contrast to what they do in Facebook. Because in Facebook, half the time I think nothing of liking somebody or doing something, and at this point in time, I just kind of hold them in contempt when I haven't spoken to them for a year or 2 years, and they want me to like something. It's like, who are you again? I mean, yes, we were friends, but I haven't spoken to you. You haven't sought me out for a year and a half or 2 years, and I'm not important enough to you to keep in touch with, and yet you want me to like something just in case I happen to buy something, and you probably are affiliated with these people in the first place, you know. Oh, there's Heidi out there. Heidi, if you would like to join us in the green room, I'd be more than happy to send you a link. I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. And by the way,
and getting back to that Facebook thing, I mean, it's kind of like Google in the sense that some of these things you can't take personally. Because when you're getting that invite, it's an invite to all of their friends. It's not necessarily an invite just to you. But what I do find more personal that I really dislike is when somebody automatically adds me to a group. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, I was added to a group of something recipes.
Oh, boy.
I don't even post pictures of my dinner, so why would somebody add me to a group about recipes?
Yeah, that's an AK-47 event right there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, dear.
So we may have Heidi joining us shortly. I sent her a link directly to her.
All
there
right.
she is. Hello, Heidi.
Hey, Heidi.
You were inquiring, by the way, about the Unified Chat, and that Unified Chat is a platform that we've been using for a month or two now because it has the best comment stream interaction and engagement that we've found anywhere. So we're trying to emulate the type of experience with Unified Chat and then transfer that experience to our websites. So we'll see what we can do.
Oh, this is interesting for me, and it can give me some information because I was trying out the other chat and it was free, but from now on I would need to pay, so I might try out another thing.
Yeah.
Would be good.
Unified Chat.
Heidi, is that the little chat piece that you had on the side of your website you're speaking about?
But I don't think it's the same thing. It's different.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the things that we take away from this platform that are good are that it's very streamlined, and it also integrates the chat live in the Hangout, and for the Hangout, it's recorded on Unified Chat. It actually records the chat stream. Plus, it integrates the YouTube chat stream if you prefer to do that. So, although the live event chat is not saved in YouTube, it is saved here. So it's got some advantages that other chat streams do not have. And then what we're going to do is we're trying to take the best of all worlds that we discover and figure out how to do this in our websites if we have a WordPress website.
So, Roland, I'm looking at your notification in Facebook, and you put in the YouTube thing, but then in the comment down below you say Unified Chat Conversation and a link to the Unified Chat.
Let's see now, so I can follow along. Which notification are you looking at?
I'm looking at in your Marketing Smarties in Facebook.
Okay.
So the question I have, I was under the impression that you cannot embed a unified chat anywhere.
No, I don't think that we've embedded a unified chat anywhere.
No.
We've linked to it, but we have not embedded it.
All right.
It looks to me like you're streaming live in YouTube, but you're not using YouTube live stream. You're actually streaming a YouTube event.
Correct. And so, I have no intention of using YouTube Live. I mean, Facebook Live.
Well, Facebook Live is only one way. One person.
Yeah.
One person speaking one way.
I thought, from what I understood, I was like, maybe you are able to put two people in the so-called green room, but is that not true? It's only one person.
Well,
I believe
also,
with Facebook. Go ahead, Laura.
Go ahead, Bill.
With Facebook Live, as far as I understand, it's only one person, one way.
From your phone.
But with Facebook Live, you should get another comment stream similar to the unified chat one on the right. And it should notify all of your people on Facebook that you are live. Whereas right now, you're probably just streaming the YouTube event, well, with a 5-second delay. So it's probably not notifying anybody that you are live. Whereas the live Facebook Live will actually go out to all your friends and tell them that you're live right now.
Yeah, I'm assuming that if I wanted to share the event in Facebook or boost the event in Facebook, that we would have a direct contact point opportunity in Facebook and be able to draw more people to watch it live in Facebook. But that's my next step after I get over the whole concept of what I'm trying to do for my own website and that, because to watch it in Facebook is secondary to me, and to get people to go to the primary chat stream and interact on the chat stream is most important. And it's less important for me to integrate one from Facebook, one from YouTube, one from this, and one from that. I want everybody on the same page. And so I'm basically going to say, well, if you want to chat in YouTube, that's fine, but we would rather have you over here. If you want to chat in Facebook, that's fine, but we would rather have you over here. And instead of saying, well, we're going to transfer you from Facebook to Google Plus, and people say, no, I don't want to go to Google Plus. I'd rather say, I'm going to send you to my website where the primary conversation is going on. And then they land on my website, wherever that may be at the time, and then see the conversation with everybody integrated all at once. That's the best event experience.
Well, that's what Heidi's doing. She's hosting her weekly things on her website. And she's got a little chat thing there, but I noticed, Heidi, that the chat accumulates from one session to the next.
Yeah, and you cannot put it in the other direction. You cannot. Didn't like it either. I saw it too.
So there are some limitations. What you're saying. Susan Joyce Schlief is in the audience. Susan, let me know if you'd like the green room link. I'll send it to you immediately. Bill is sharing something. Part of the problem is that Facebook doesn't give much reach to videos shared from YouTube. Well, yes, agreed. This is a message from Susan about...
and how did it come on the screen now?
Oh, that's all Bill. That's all Bill. He's the magician there.
But Heidi, you need to know it's a several-step process involving what? Slides? Google Slides?
Google Slides.
Yeah,
we use slides.
And just to let you know, if you're watching, Susan, I think you are, that I've given you an invitation before, but apparently you have not accepted my invitation, so I can't send you the green room link in the side chat. Let's see. Yep, I've only got the one link to you, and it says invite pending. So please accept the pending and make it official, and then I can use this to send you a green room link if you would like to join us. And we're just having an open conversation today around a cup of coffee.
So that means that we have to say in the Google event page that we would come, and then only you can give us the permission.
The Google event page, if you click on anything in the Google event page, it doesn't go anywhere now.
No, it came, I had it on the Google event page and I came into the chat thing.
Yeah, but you must have clicked on the link that he put there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a live link from
Yeah.
the Google event page, and that's really the only service that the Google event page performs for me. Well, it does two things. It allows me to post a link to the unified chat or wherever I want them to go, and it allows me to send invitations to my circles. So that's what I'm using it for. I'm using it to initiate an invitation to the circles, and then everyone that goes there is going to find out, well, where's the video? Where's the video? And they're going to learn eventually through the things that I indicate and put in the page. Click the link, go to Unified Chat, and join us in the conversation, and watch the video all at once.
But Roland, you can achieve the same thing from within one of your communities. If you post something, you can then share your post to all of your circles.
Right. You can do that.
So you don't need to use the unified chat. Because when you click on anything within that, or not the unified chat, sorry, the event page. The event page, it posts something. It lands on your calendar, and you can't get rid of it. You can't click on anything. It takes you to all sorts of error pages, etc. So I think you'd be better off to post it from your community.
Well, I usually do that, but I just ran out of gas.
Right.
But I have not found that the community has as a vast a reach. But from the community, I've been messaging members of the community, and what you're saying is, from the community, I can post to my personal circles.
Yeah, you can just share it. Now, like if you've got a post within your community, click on share, and then choose whatever circles you want.
Got it. Right.
I think you have to be careful doing that, though, because if you also share it publicly, you're going to start spamming the people in your community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's part of why I've been careful about that, because I've received that from other people, and it's really turned me off. People that I like start to annoy me.
Yeah. So
I'm trying not to do that.
And it's fine to post it in your community, but you should go into your settings, and there's a way to shut off sharing from the community, so that when you post in your community, it only shares to the community. Then if you post privately later, then at least you're not spamming your community.
Oh, that's a piece I didn't know. Thank you.
But is it only when you click the little box and also email or not?
I'm sorry?
This spamming thing, it comes only when you click the box, send also email to my circles. Because otherwise they have it only in the stream, as far as I know. So why would you spam them?
Well, because if you share publicly, it goes into the stream, and then if you share into a community separately, it goes into a stream a second time. And if you share it somewhere else into a collection, for example, then it's going to stream a third time. And that's,
but this is good, because you have people coming in the stream very rarely. I mean, they are not all the people at the same time when you have different time zones.
This is true, and that's why the invitations from an event page are much more concise. When I invite people to the event page, I get responses in a matter of seconds or minutes. Sometimes people say, "Oh yeah, I want to." It's a very direct contact, and they are able to respond immediately.
You can't say yes, no, or maybe in the event page.
Huh?
You can't if he's created the something with the event page. You say yes, no, or maybe. I just get what I get is for like an error message. I can't do anything from an event page.
Okay.
well, you've been able to respond yes, no, or maybe to Roland's event pages the last month.
I would think.
I've been able to.
I have too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Now, I think the thing you have to be careful of is whether you're in classic Google or new Google.
Yes.
And I don't know if
I'm in new Google, so all I get is an error message.
But
well, that makes sense.
I typically stay in new Google as well, but when I get an invite from Roland, it kicks me into the old Google.
And the old Google will be gone soon.
Well,
We don't know for sure, but
yeah, the bottom line is these are inconsistencies that we are trying to avoid and get away from. And so one way or the other, we're going to have to give up the event page, and even have I'm using it as an invitation post, but I'm using it because it works a little bit, and that's the only reason. I have to find a better way for me, and eventually it's going to be an invitation system based on people who respond to an invitation, sign in, just like what another couple of concepts we've been talking about. We have to have a registration system that allows us to collect the names and the individuals and the emails and maintain a better communication control. Go ahead, Heidi.
I have the question. I have noticed that with the new Google Plus, you cannot easily put people anymore in circles. You can only follow them. So how can you then get them together? Before you had the circle count, the thing, and it was easy to get them in your circles.
I can answer that.
Okay.
So when you're looking at somebody's profile, it only says follow. So if you click follow, if you click it once, you follow. It's within one circle. But if you click there again, it allows you to select your circles, and you can unclick the follow and put it into whatever circle you want. It's a two-step process.
So you don't click twice on the follow thing, but you have to go to their profile and then.
Whenever you click on the follow, it'll take you to their post or their profile.
Mm-hmm.
So in the little box comes up and shows you where it says follow in a little box. So once you've done that, then you can unclick that follow and then click whatever circle you want it to be in.
Complicated.
What I find even easier is if you just scroll on their profile picture. It will bring up their profile with the little follow on the bottom, and you can scroll down to the follow, and it'll automatically give you that drop-down menu, and you can add them to one or more circles in one step.
That was before. I didn't see it in the new version, so okay, I have to check.
Oh, I'm gonna have to learn so much when I go to.
Yeah, we all have to.
Well, no, that's assuming that I stay on Google after they do away with the old version. I'm not too sure that I will.
Yeah.
But then we wouldn't have your Google community, and what would the rest of us ever do without it?
You could follow me to wherever I go, dear. But quite frankly, the new interface is not serving the way that I work at all. It's a bunch of wasted spaces. You don't get the number of new posts in each category like you do in the old one. And since I don't circle people, that's basically how I follow people. I know certain people post in certain communities, so I join that community to follow their posts. Well, if I go into there and it's not showing any new posts, I don't even bother to open that category in that community. I just move on to one that does. It's really easy in the old version and the new version. You can't get any of that. Yeah.
I'm just thinking about my community. Usually, there's some way that I know that somebody has. Oh, it comes into my notification.
Mm-hmm.
I know that somebody has posted that way.
Yeah. See, I've gone into every one of my communities, all 80 of them that I follow. And I turned on notifications and email for all of them.
Oh.
And that's how I'm handling it, is through the notifications and emails. I don't even have to go into the communities to search.
No, that's true.
Yeah. And that continued working even when they get really old when the notifications and emails, so I still won't have to go into the new interface.
All right.
So I have a question for everybody, because I'm sure that someone here has this connection. I cannot message Susan Joyce Schleif directly in Google Plus because she apparently has not effectively completed my invitations to chat. So who has a direct?
I do.
Okay,
You
so
want me to send it to her?
yeah, would you do that?
Yeah, her message did say something like she was going to or somewhere she said she was going to have something to eat.
Yeah, but she's had time to munch down something.
Okay,
So,
I'll send her the link. I just have to go find my
Google Plus interface.
Okay, I'll copy that. Copy. And all right, I'll do a new conversation. Susan, there she is. And I'll do a message to her. Here is Roland's green room.
Thank you for that, because I don't want to exclude her just because I cannot seem to make a
Right.
direct
Now, that's interesting. On her profile, she's only got the Hangout and the little carrot, to remove or whatever. She doesn't have the message thing on her profile where you can send her a message directly from her profile.
Yeah, it's like she has to accept your invitation before you can message her directly. And that's why I can't connect. So, just to switch the conversation a little bit here, wanted to do a little something here. I had wanted to show you this because what I'm doing is I'm, of course, using my son Kyle to develop a new, I wonder why I can't show this to you. Oh, well, we'll use something else here. Let's see, I'll use this. Okay. This is my email and a post sent to me from Kyle, my son, and he's working on a concept. I don't know how well you can see this or not, but it's basically the interface that we're working on for a WordPress plugin, and he has this working on his site, and this is what he's going to give me when he finishes the plugin, so I can use this on my site. So what this is showing a video that he could stream, but he's just using it for placement right now. And it will be a live YouTube video from our Hangouts on Air generated in that left quadrant, as you can see. And then on the right-hand side is going to be a column of chat stream. And the one thing that he's been able to do effectively is to get the plus naming to work. So in his website, in the experimental website with the plugin, the plus naming works. So if we use the plugin, we're going to actually be able to use the plus name feature, and this is going to be like notifying someone directly that you're commenting relative to their comment. You can say plus so-and-so's name and say, I like your comment, blah, blah, blah. And then it goes into the chat stream on same way all the chats do, right from the top feeding downward. And the option may be to there might be a flip switch in the plugin that allows the comment stream to feed from the top or feed from the bottom. And we haven't quite achieved the option there to do both. There's Susan. How you doing, Susan?
I'm doing fine. Am I unmuted?
Hey, Susan.
We need to turn up your mic a little bit.
I'm doing fine. I just need to go turn off.
Okay. So what we were talking about right here, Susan, we're screen sharing what my son sent me as an implant from his WordPress website that he's developing this WordPress plugin for me. And the video on the left and the comment stream on the right is presently part of the makeup, but he's done some further advancements in his programming since then. What we're going to do is we're going to try to expand the left section so that the video has a space above and below the video, the way it kind of does in Unified Chat. And if they expand this overall wrapper, that'll give the section on the right with the comment stream more room to add more comments. Because if you look at the Unified Chat comment stream, you can get 5 or 6 comments in there. And that's part of the overall stream. And right now we can only fit 3 or 4 comments in. But what we're going to do is try to expand this overall box so that the ratio of the two sides allows for more comments to be viewed. And
Roland, may I ask a question?
sure.
It's something you might want to check because, and this is as a result of my sort of trying to do the commenting on Heidi's video, is when that chat goes in, is it attached to that one video, or will it just continue and keep all the old chats that were added from a previous video?
No previous video. What it is the plugin works so that you can institute a chat stream per page, and per page you can only have one chat stream, but the chat stream will only be relevant to whatever they put in for that page. So if you have a conversation going regarding a video that we're streaming live and an event page, that's a permanent event page for the video, and the comment stream will stay. It will be perpetually scrollable, and you can look back at the old comments and the new comments.
So that means that from our website perspective, we will have to use a new page each time we post a new video.
Yes. As of right now, the answer to that is yes. So, for instance, when I have a series page with my Saturday morning marketing Smarties, I will have a page that has maybe thumbnails of all the previous events. But then when you click on that, it's going to take you to the individual page where the event took place, and also archive the entire chat stream there. So what I wanted to do was put this on my home page, but it's possible we could do that, but I believe that we'll have to find a way to transfer the contents from the home page to an archived page and do that. And one of the ways that it can be done is to make it a blog series. So the most recent blog is placed on your home page, and then displays the chat and the stream and the video all at once. And then when the new video is placed or the new blog post comes out, it actually is a whole entire fresh installation of the same concept on the new blog page, which will be appearing on your home page. So there are ways to do it, but I just haven't configured it yet. I'm still focusing on the functionality of the plugin per page, and then the manipulation of how we implement that in the WordPress will be secondary.
So basically, what you just described is that you would use the post rather than a page.
Yeah, and either one is possible, but it makes sense to have the post because it's very easy to have the most recent post displayed
on the top. Yeah,
and then you just assign it for one post display only, and then you assign it a category that's specific for your series, and then that way your spot where you're going to display your show always changes with the new show, and there's automatically the latest show.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned getting more comments in there. Okay,
right.
That's going to be basically determined by the size of the player, right?
Yeah.
You can't go over a certain height.
Right.
And then it's going to be dependent on the length of any individual comment. So you can't say, I want this set for 4 comments, because if you've got one that's 6 paragraphs long, you're only going to show that one comment because the length.
Right.
Right? Okay.
Let me show you a previous, I will find this other post that he made. I think it's earlier in the same stream. Yeah, here's a good, for instance, I will share screens again. And this is an earlier thing that he shared with me. Right there. And this one shows that he didn't have the right side with a comment stream as tidied up and as compact as it is now. But he had the video, percentage-wise, it was a little bit too narrow on the left-hand side. But what it did do is show that there's a space below the video that is taking up some vertical space, and that, of course, allows for more comments to accumulate in the column on the right. So what I was suggesting to him was, we take this space and center the video. We'd actually make the comment stream a little bit narrower than this, and then the video itself would be more centered vertically, and then we could maintain the overall wrapper space so that this space could be more effectively used for more comments.
Okay. So, I see what you're doing.
So when you go to the event page or the home page or the WordPress page displaying the live video, what you would see is the space on the left maximized for the video that's playing. In other words, if you had a 4:3 video, it might show in the entire, almost completely. But if you had a 9:16 video, it's going to actually clip the top and the bottom a little bit and make a white space or a black space, and the video would be centered on the left. And then, of course, the chat stream will be maximized and tightened up. Now, it's very hard to see, but if you notice, the chat stream on the right also has little insignias below each of the comments. What that is the opportunity to do a plus comment. You know, when we were in Google Plus and we wanted to plus something, we can do a plus comment and also do a reply. And for the purposes of my engagement, I asked him to remove the plus and the reply and just make it a streamlined comment-only scoreboard. And then the other thing that I asked him to remove was the typical Google chat also records how many comments you have. So what I'm trying to do is make this an option for people who want it. So you can flip a digital switch, so to speak, or assign it when you're creating the Hangout display, whether you want the number of comments to be counted and displayed at the top of this column or not. And basically, for user purposes, it's way less important than having more room for more comments, or at least that's my impression. So your feedback is welcome right now and valued tremendously. But
okay, can I play devil's advocate for a minute?
Yes, you can. I need you guys to do this.
On the reply, I would suggest leaving that, because if you take that out, you have no idea what a comment further down is replying to. You want threaded comments. If I reply to your post, but then I don't have a reply button and I just reply as a comment further down, you have to read that entire chat stream to get the context of what my reply is replying to. You have no idea what comment above it is replying to.
Right.
Okay.
As long as you've got that reply thing, you can keep track.
Okay, let me ask a couple questions, because I've been thinking the same thing. But when I look at the unified chat, we do not have a plus and a reply option in those. But,
that's true.
But we also don't have a plus name option. So
that's true too.
When you combine the two, is it important that we have the reply and the separate thread below the comment, or is that a distraction to the overall conversation? So
I don't consider it a distraction. Now, I will be right up front. Plus ones I could care less about. I don't pay attention to.
Agreed.
But the reply, definitely, I've been, online forever. And all of the best apps have threaded comments.
Yeah.
They are not all on one level. I used to use a program years ago in the DOS thing. You could make 7 levels of reply, and it would show all of them. It would, most of the replies, if it went over a line, it would just say more, and you could click on it to open it. But there was no mistaking what somebody was referring to in a later reply, what message they were replying to. It really helps.
Yeah, I agree with that.
If you get a lot of replies.
Yeah, I agree as well.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, the votes tell me a very important thing, that this would be a boon to the overall conversation.
Yeah.
Excuse me. To have this plus, not the plus comment, but the reply, threaded replies then as an option.
Yeah.
And I know it does that in YouTube. And people, I use it well in YouTube, and I appreciate it in YouTube. But my experience in the Hangouts has been that the best interaction that we've had has been in unified chat, which has none of these things. So this is really valuable to me for this conversation, to judge what things we miss, what things we value, and what the best opportunities are that if we're designing something, what is it that we should design?
Okay, Roland, let me give you a hint. The unified chat extension thing that we're using is great. It works perfectly. But it is not the gold standard for what a chat thing should be. That's what you should be working for in your plugin, is the gold standard, not what's presently available.
I agree totally. And the funny thing is, I think the gold standard is on its way, but I think the first thing that we were conquering was having an effective chat for engagement and having it in your WordPress website. So those are the 2 main things that we've been focusing on, but we do have the opportunity to play with these other things.
Well, yeah, if you've got limited resources and stuff, and it's going to take more to get that reply in to work well, go ahead and make this on the first thing, but just be aware that, you need to work that in at some time. And Absolutely. You might mention that when you release the first one, so that people have got, it's not like we're putting this out and stopping development.
Right.
It'll give a little oomph to it, too.
Yeah. I see it going in like 3 stages, or at least that's the way I planned it. And right now, of course, this is stage 1. And the primary things that we are trying to accomplish are to display in a WordPress site, to have the archived streaming comments, and then the plus naming was like a major plus to me, because the one thing that I remember from plus naming was that I had people coming to my events on Saturday Morning Marketing Smarties several days after the event and commenting on something that somebody had said. And it wasn't necessarily important that everybody saw the interaction, but it was important that the person that made the comment and the replying comment, those people connected. To me, that was very important. So that's the one thing that the plus naming provides us. But I think that it makes sense to me to have plus naming as stream threaded comments, and then that pretty much
that works together so well. That way you'll never miss if somebody says, "You lunatic, you said that wrong," Not that I would ever say that to somebody, of course.
Well, was that in my 3rd comment or my 17th comment or the first half an hour or the last quarter hour?
Oh, believe me, I'll let you know exactly where it is.
Yeah, that makes sense to me, so I appreciate those comments. And apparently everyone is pretty much, the consensus is complete that the replying opportunity and threaded comments is a good idea.
Roland, the other one that I find is really important is the ability to correct
Ah,
Edit.
yes.
That one is really important.
I
It might be harder to do, but
yeah. Well, the thing is, it makes this a thicker and thicker plugin,
yeah.
and we're working on the basics right now. And whatever we can add that keeps it streamlined, we will. And of course, it's developmental, so there's a cost involved. And this is all money out of my pot right now, so we'll do what we can. But
Okay.
Andrew, go ahead.
Speaking of editing, have you thought about when they hit the post button, before it actually posts, it brings up a thing and says, do you want to edit this, yes or no? If they say yes, it takes you to the editing mode. If they say no, it just goes ahead and posts.
Yeah, that's
that way they should not have to go back and correct the post after it's posted.
I don't know if that's.
You have to do that.
I honestly am not sure that that's as important as being able to say, oops, I misspelled that, and just post a new post. Whether that's better and faster than keeping people from getting the comment out there. One of the magical things about unified chat is the swiftness of people posting. And because you can't edit it, it's like, well, you have to be at least semi-conscious of what you're typing at the time.
Well, that's true. That's true.
And so we're measuring how important it is. We're not publishing something for the content purposes. We're having a conversation. And if we were to spell out everything that we conversed with, I'm sure there'd be tons of misspellings. But, in a recorded chat on the side of a live conversation, unified chat is pretty dang good. So the couple things that sounds to me like we could improve upon is to have the reply stream, the threaded comments, and maybe that's the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that we're gonna have 2 or 3 other major success stories, and if we had threaded comments, that would be just like part of the gold standard.
Yeah, really.
That's part of the gold standard that we can assume right from the get-go. So I'll see what we can do, because right now Kyle is looking at the basic layout and then how to remove and how to make it optional, these things that we've been talking about. So if somebody wants to have a conversation, it could be that the adjustment for the video box or the wrapper will be something like, well, I want it to be 1,000 pixels wide by 750 tall or something like that. Or I want it to be 600 wide and I want it to be 1,000 pixels tall, which would be an option so that the comment stream could be extended as far as they want. But what we're focusing on is if people wind up on your website and do an expanded out version of the view of the website, how to make the video and the comment stream maximized on one view. Because the one thing is, if you make the comment stream too long, then you're scrolling down below or looking down below and the video is no longer on the page, right? So the video's got to be there, maximized in height and width, and the comment stream has to have the most opportunity to display the most comments possible. So that's been the thing, is trying to figure out how to make the overall wrapper the best dimension size and allocate the space so it's most effective. Now, the other thing that I've been working on is the concept of, if we had this space, I'm going to share my screen one more time. If we had this space the way this one shows here, what could you actually, if you wanted to program it into the concept, what could we have in that lower area? And if the video was playing effectively in the upper left and the comment stream was making use on the right-hand side completely from top to bottom, what could you put in this white area? And I'm thinking, well, maybe some key information or links that are critical and various things like that that people don't have to search for, that you can always say right from the get-go of your broadcast. You could say, by the way, the video is playing, and if it's, if you're viewing this like that, then it's good. And below the video are the links to this and that and some instructions about how you can participate. And if you want to do this, then go here. You want to do that, then, we can use this space to give some good direction to the people who want to view.
Why
So,
not
yeah.
have a space for description there, just like we did with YouTube events? And
Yeah, I think that having the description area is a good idea. Maybe foreshortened, because of course we're not going to want to build in another scrolling area down below that. But
right.
to have a brief description of 30 words or less or something like that tells everybody what they're watching, I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah, and it could include a link, like you said. But
yeah. So there's an area that we could make use of.
I'm wondering if you wouldn't already have the description somewhere that's already brought somebody to your event, in which case maybe having an app where you could add that to your calendar might be more beneficial than
absolutely.
Well, when we get that app designed, that's probably going to find its place with this display. And to be able to add links is really key. And then what links we add will be up to us, right? So I think that's a really good idea. And the idea being that you want to involve people, engage them so they want to be a part of it, and for them to opt in and subscribe and be a part of your stream and your ongoing communication.
That raises a question. Maybe I missed this, but where would that description be coming from?
Well,
you're putting this on your WordPress page.
For one thing, we can design that into the front end, or wherever you initiate the event plugin for the page in WordPress, we would have a space there for you to enter this information.
So you'd actually be creating the event in WordPress, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
And and maybe not completing the whole thing, because of course we've talked about it as maybe the third stage round, actually having a registration system built into this and being able to let people opt in with their Google Plus account, or to leave their name and email you, and then automatically they can come and comment, and they can do everything that we're supplied to do in this Hangout. The other thing is, if we use the Google Plus platform, the Plus names work with Google Plus, but they do not work with Facebook or other platforms. So the main thing is that when they come to the event, they can watch the event, go for it, and they can comment. If they're registered, then they can comment, go for it, but they can't Plus name anybody unless they check in with their Google account. And that's just by nature the way it has to go, because Plus names is a Google feature. So there are certain things that we can't do. We can't make Plus naming a universal concept, but it is an added thing and an incentive for people just to have a Google account. And if they want a Plus name, then they're engaged enough for my purposes. If they're willing to at least take an account, open an account so that they can Plus name people, to me that's the level of engagement that I want from my viewers anyway.
Well, there is a leaf that you could grab from somebody else's book, and that is, put that top video, say that's an instructional video, okay? Then you put your actual live event that you're hosting in the bottom of where that gray space is. So you could all watch an instructional video together. You could comment to it on the side, the entire thing. You might want to offer that as an option, rather than have it set up, as the default. But that's one way that would, because people are always yelling about they want to watch stuff together.
Right. Well,
and that might be a draw, something you can think about.
That's possible. When it comes to instructional videos prior to the event page, one thing is that WordPress page, you can put as many videos as you want above this, and in and around the event section of your page. But the thing is, you have to be careful that these are not distractions from your main broadcast. So whatever instructional thing, it almost pays not to have it on your event page. And it's almost like if you're going to watch this video or participate in this, you might want to go here and watch this video first, and then have an instructional video describing how to participate, how to watch, how to make the best use of it, whether or not you have to sign up for the Google Plus thing to get the reply stream and the comment, the plus naming and stuff. Maybe some instruction like that is warranted, and I would certainly probably produce a personal video describing these things and doing a tutorial on how to do them briefly, you know, like a little 3 to 5 minute video before the event, and require people, if you're having trouble with this event, go here and watch this thing before the next event, because it'll explain, you know. So educationally, it makes the most sense to have the instructional video somewhere close by, but not necessarily on the event page.
Yeah, I did that when I did that 6-part series on how to use Business Hangouts. It was always, you know, go here and watch this, and then we'll discuss it at the Hangout schedule for whatever,
right.
You know, type thing.
And the other thing that I'm considering is that with Hangouts able to have 9 people plus the host in the room, I'm thinking of running courses of instruction on WordPress and on video and various live streaming concepts, and run classes where 9 people or 8 people can sign up for our class, and we can have a semi-private instructional class right in the WordPress on the WordPress page in a Hangout on Air using that facility. So it's really good for running a private event that everyone can keep as a recording and as an instructional thing, and yet it's a very close presentation as in a classroom setting. So to me, it's always been a great idea. I just haven't done it yet.
Well, I can speak to that a little bit because I have done it. I've done, about a year ago, I did a series of 4 classes that were private, and then in last May and June, I did another course. And I like the idea of having people right there live. They can ask questions on camera instead of having to type it in the chat. I had a very hard time getting my students to actually come in live into the Hangout. For some reason, they didn't want to do that. But there are some problems also with watching the course, and I didn't notice some of them until I was watching the recordings later. Now, it may make a difference what software you're using. I was teaching PowerPoint, and I would find that some of the pop-up windows that I would open to demonstrate something were not getting captured by the Hangout recording.
Yeah, pop-ups do not get recorded.
Right. So I don't know if that's an issue for what you'd be teaching in WordPress, but that was a big problem for me.
See, for me, I have the easiest concept to adapt to this, because what I'll be teaching is live video streaming and live streaming concepts, and teaching people how to be on the camera and use this and be in WordPress and produce shows.
Right.
So if they're not willing to sign up to be on a recording, we got a problem in the first place, right?
Right.
It's not going to work out.
Right.
So for me, it's easy.
The participation part will be easier for you, but the actually what gets captured might be an issue. And I can also tell you from training I took a couple years ago from Zane Miller, it was not very easy for him to display the Hangout windows to show people that part. So I don't know if that's part of what you're trying to teach, but that gets complicated.
Could you elaborate?
Well, you can't show your behind the scenes Hangout screen while you're in a Hangout. So he was having to use two.
Yeah, you can't show it live.
Right.
Because it won't let you be in 2 Hangouts at once. If you're going to do that, you have to record that part ahead of time and then do a screen share of that video where you switch over.
Right, and that's how I've seen Virginia Parsons do it. The way Zane Miller was doing it, actually, he was using a different account to log in, and then he was able to show it, but then sometimes we'd end up with problems with that as well. So it's not real straightforward.
I think I can get all around that.
I found using a separate account solves that infinity screen that everybody hates so much.
It initially, yeah, and then once you switch it over, it's gone. But I think people are getting more used to that than they used to be.
Well, the way you can prevent that is if you highlight somebody else before you initiate the screen sharing. Their picture will be on screen. Their picture will be on screen. Then after you get it set up, then you switch back to you, and they never see that infinity barbershop mirror thing.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Well, they still see the infinity screen, though, if you share yourself in the Hangout, do they not? It's only if you share another tab that they don't. If you go to yourself in the Hangout, it'll still display the infinity screen. I mean,
right. Well, yeah, anything you're going to display, you need to open in a separate tab so you don't have to show yourself. Then you pin somebody else, bring it up, and switch to that one. Yeah.
Right.
So you have
if for example you were trying to show somebody how to screen share, you wouldn't be able to show yourself in the Hangout and say you go up here on the left and you click on the little green arrow, because that would go infinity on you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you basically do that in screenshots. Then you do a screen share of the screenshots, and then you have a still shot, but it shows the same thing that you would be showing if you were doing it live. And you say, obviously, if you're doing it live, you have this effect or that effect, but this is what it looks like. And you can get around those things by using still shots.
Yeah, you get around it by using still shots or another account.
Yeah. So none of that is much of a problem for me. Doesn't sound like. I can't believe we have actually eaten up an entire hour and 12 minutes already with this.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
Well, don't let us stop you from munching out. I mean, Susan's having hers as we speak, and I will be shortly myself. But that's what the coffee break is all about. You know, you got to have some coffee cake on the side of it.
We should have some beer or some wine because it's after 9 o'clock in the evening. So.
Oh, the sun's over the yard arm. I need a martini.
Oh, yeah.
I can endorse a limited amount of alcohol within my Hangouts. Sure.
3 or 4 gallons.
It was very interesting. Thank you we have some hope to get it inside our website, the comments.
I think so. I think we're real close to doing the first round strategy session. I will be calling upon some of you to be beta testers, and I'll introduce you to this concept in a Hangout sometime where we actually pick it apart and play with it and that stuff. And
I'm here.
Me too.
And then when we get around to
Me too.
whoever's got a WordPress site that you want to try this, I'm not sure. There might be an NDA to just decide to sign before I release it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it to certain people and have you just beat the heck out of it.
Okay, question about the WordPress site.
Yes, sir.
Will you have to have your own hosted web, or can you use WordPress.com? Will you be able to?
That's a good
I
question.
don't think
You have to
can
have
use plugins on WordPress.com.
No.
I didn't think so. It's been
have
a long time since I've been over there. That I didn't know whether they changed policy or not.
Yeah, you have to have a verified website, which means that you have to have virtually your own website, preferably where you own the hosting or someone you know owns the hosting, and then you produce from your own domain, and then you actually go into the back end of the installation and you place a text file that then Google recognizes and says, okay, you're solid. I recognize that this is your site. And
so it's a Google verified account,
Yeah.
which I already have because I set that up for my YouTube channel.
Right. So in other words, yours would be fine, but if people don't have a verified site, then it's a problem.
Yeah.
And the main reason for that is that the API that we use and the system that we use is based on a Google product. So it has to be Google sanctioned,
Right.
and therefore we need the verification function.
Will this be able to be used on the old Google Sites form?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Because I know the new one you can't even do any embeds or anything in yet. It's so new they've released it. Basically it's a bulletin board.
Yeah, to me that's a good reason never to go there. But I mean, WordPress is so easy to use and to achieve. I mean, basically, if you're in business at any level, if you're not willing to spend $100 on a domain and a simple hosting account, then I don't care if you use my plugin or not, because you're not serious enough to make any use of what I have to offer you.
Basically, you're saying the same thing, except I'm saying it about another product. But anyway.
Exactly.
So I have to go. The stocky here is hungry.
Yeah, you don't want to become dog food.
Bye, Adelaide.
Okay, thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, doggy.
We're about to wrap up for the day, and
we are. I need to go do some grocery shopping.
But it pleases me that you folks joined me and gave me some really good, important feedback. I was able to show you the preliminary concepts of what we're developing, and we're really close. So we're just deciding for a few things what features we really want to have, and we're also working on making certain things optional so that you can either have it or not have it depending upon what you want to do. So we'll probably make the threaded comments an option if we can.
Yeah.
And otherwise, we'll have no threaded comments initially, and threaded comments will be in the second generation.
Okay, that'll work.
And that'll work too.
That may be.
I know some of you are in a hurry to get off, but if you have a minute, Roland, I have a question that you might have answered before.
Who do we have to say goodbye to? We'll let you go.
Yeah.
I'll go.
Okay.
Right.
Well,
bye, Lola.
Nice having you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Bye now.
Bye.
See you Tuesday.
And Bill and Andrew, can you stay around and we can discuss whatever it is?
Listen, if there are questions, I'm stuck here until this thing ends.
Okay. Well, I don't think it's a real long question, but
okay, Susan, go ahead.
As you were describing what your son's working on, it made me think, I never thought about it before in terms of WordPress plugins, but I know about a year ago I had someone set up a Facebook comment plugin for me so that I could show a series of videos that I had hosted on my WordPress site and then have them put comments under the videos, and the comments would also show up in Facebook. So, but I never thought about it in terms of a Google Plus plugin.
Right. So there is an existing Facebook plugin that you can.
There are a bunch of them. We had a hard time picking one, and didn't really get the one that I wanted. But
well, none of them are actually designed so well to work well on a website. That's what I found.
Oh yeah.
And none of them.
Did you say it shared your comments into YouTube, Susan?
No, it shared them onto Facebook.
From where onto Facebook?
From the WordPress page where the video was displaying.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of a neat feature. That's making that integrated. So if you had comments going on in your web page for an event, you could display the event and display the comments all at the same time.
Right. And that's why I put it up there, because these were videos I was sharing before I offered my course for sale. And so I wanted to get a lot of discussion going and get some buzz about it. I still didn't sell very many people into the course, but it was an experiment.
Yeah, so a question regarding that, did you get good engagement on your Facebook page?
That was part of the problem with this particular plugin, as I think, it's been a while now, I think it showed the comments in my personal Actually, I'm not sure about that now, Roland. I'd have to go back and look whether it showed it on my Facebook page or on my personal profile newsfeed.
Of course, the big takeaway on that is if engagement happened and conversation was generated in Facebook as a result, that is, of course, like the ultimate result, right?
Right.
Whether they buy or not is secondary to me. Whether they're talking to you about it in Facebook, that is of utmost importance. Because from there, it's like whatever you engage in conversation is really the selling factor.
Yeah, and there was, I think that was one of the issues, was that there were comments being added there. They were showing up in Facebook, but you couldn't engage with that comment stream in Facebook. You could only do it on the WordPress page.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether that's because my guy didn't set it up correctly or we picked the wrong plugin. Because I bet there were probably 20 or 30 different plugins for Facebook comments, and trying to figure out which one to choose, I had picked the one that I thought looked best, but then the guy that was doing the website stuff for me to help me out, he chose a different one. So I don't know.
The most tasty thing about the unified chat is that you can flip a switch and incorporate the YouTube chat, which is not recorded anywhere right now. When the live event chat is going on, unified chat will record that and intermingle it, mix it with the standard unified chat, and then save the entire thing. Whereas YouTube won't even save its own chat. They may in the future, but right now they don't do that.
Its own.
Will your plugin incorporate YouTube?
I'm working on that as a secondary or a tertiary, second or third generation development. Because if unified chat can do it, I know that it can be done. I just don't know what's involved, and I'll have to look at my software developer for that.
Well, normally the chat stream is going to be part of whatever the broadcasting system is, right? And now we're in this place with Hangouts where that kind of is up for grabs. What's actually broadcasting,
Yeah.
But that's only the case with unified chat. It's not the case with YouTube.
Yeah.
Well, but YouTube's not broadcasting. Or do you mean with YouTube Live? It's not the case?
YouTube is broadcasting, and it's being brought into the unified chat, which means that it's now being saved. It's just not being saved in YouTube. But it is being saved here in the unified chat.
In the unified chat. Right. Because this is a Google tool that's doing it, yeah. I was thinking like comparing it to WebEx or GoToWebinar or something where they have, or Zoom, where they have a chat feature, but it's connected with that software that's doing the webinar broadcast.
Right.
And I'm wondering why you wouldn't try and include that in a basic feature, because it was one of the nicest improvements that Unified Chat came up with.
Which one was that, Bill?
The integration of the YouTube chat into the Unified Chat.
Absolutely. If it's one thing that I take away from the Unified Chat, other than their simplicity and their streaming comments, a concept of the ongoing stream of comments being very, very simple, is the fact that they incorporate the YouTube comments and save them even when YouTube doesn't save them. So that was a real plus.
YouTube, when it was first designed, was not designed for live streaming. They didn't care about chat.
That's right.
They didn't care about comments. It was a place where you uploaded videos that you had recorded elsewhere, and people could watch them, and that was it.
And they could comment on them.
But they never considered live chat because they weren't going to be live streaming at the time.
That's right.
Now, the facility of Unified Chat, not only does it incorporate the YouTube side, but it projects all the comments that we're making in Unified Chat over to the YouTube side. So at least during the live event, the comments from both YouTube and from Unified Chat are visible in both places. Now, I think that's a pretty fantastic integration.
Mhm.
I mean, the fact
And you
that they're
don't
not
get a
served.
duplication?
Pardon me?
And you don't get a duplication? Like if I make a comment in a live YouTube chat, it's going to come up over here in
Yes.
Unified Chat. All right. Now, I reply in Unified Chat to that comment. Okay. It's going to show up here and it's going to go back over there. And if they don't get a ping pong with duplication streams.
Apparently not. It's just depending
Nope.
upon where you are.
That's a major engineering feat.
I know that's a really that's an engineering feat, right? So
Yeah.
we can figure out. I mean, if this was all plug and play and open source programming, if we could capture that bit of code and use it, we would just be an ultimate success story. Linking YouTube and our website all at once, and then
Mm-hmm.
unified chat would be eliminated from the source. YouTube would be incorporated in the source, which makes it even stronger than incorporating a Facebook chat or a Google Plus chat or any of those things. Your website and YouTube would be the two things that you would want integrated, being the most powerful.
I'm going to have to go do some searching to see if I pick up any rumors about work being done on the YouTube API.
Yeah, we put our feelers out on that through Molly and her gang a month or two ago, and they said that they are doing some work and planning on making changes not only to YouTube but to the Google Hangouts in general,
Mm-hmm.
and to possibly work on the chat stream. So there's no telling what changes in the chats are going to come about
Yeah.
as a result of this. But in the meantime, if we were able, that's the one bridge I don't know how to cross yet, but we're working on it. How to incorporate YouTube into the WordPress chat. Because if Unified Chat can do it, we should be able to do it.
Yeah.
That's my thinking.
Yeah. You would think so.
So we'll see what we can do with that. And then Unified Chat will be utterly pissed off at me for bringing on a concept that they've got an exclusive pass to right now. But as far as I'm concerned,
But that's the evolution of everything. You know?
That's right.
Everything builds on whoever did it first, and then the next person adds something else, and then somebody after you will add something else to that. You know.
Yep. And that's basically the modus operandi for me and everything that I teach and everything I convey is like how to get the job done the cheapest way possible and yet be 90% effective.
Yeah.
You don't have to be the best, but you have to be effective.
Now, if you can reverse engineer something without breaking copyright or code or something and using the exact code, that's just, to me, that's the way the world operates. And thank God for it. Yeah.
So I figure it's maybe second or third generation, but it's definitely on the list.
Okay. Good.
Well,
Great.
thank you everybody for your feedback on what we're developing, and we'll have some testing going on soon, and I'll let you know if there may be an NDA to sign. I don't know what my business model is yet, but I'm thinking I want to make my money based on teaching people live streaming, and if possible, I want to be able to give this plugin away. So I'm not thinking I want to put a price on the plugin and charge and advertise and promote the plugin because I'm not going to have enough buyers to make a difference there. But if I'm teaching live streaming and I include this as part of a package in their learning and basically give the plugin away and it facilitates the people, the users who are learning live streaming and broadcasting to create a better show, now that's my objective.
Well,
Okay.
you could still charge for the plugin, but then for people who sign up for your training, you give it to them as a bonus. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'll make it affordable, but I want to be able to give it away and sell the bigger packages.
Okay. When you say live streaming, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about doing the type of shows that I do.
You're talking about Hangouts on air,
Yeah.
not with the encoders and stuff.
No. That's a different
Okay.
market. That's a completely different market.
Well,
Yeah,
and you're not talking about
It is,
Periscope
but
and
that-
Facebook
that is-
Live
that-
either. So.
But that
Not
is
even.
my biggest gripe with Google. Okay, their use of terminology. Okay, they say no. Hangouts on Air are moving to YouTube Live. Okay, and then they call it live streaming without explaining the difference. I'm getting all the time letters from people,
It's all
how do
live
I use this
streaming.
encoder and everything? I said, it's easy. You don't. You're looking at the wrong thing, and Google has messed up putting it where it is.
Yeah,
I mean,
agreed.
I'm sorry, I adore Google, but I am not going to be a fanboy and say they can do nothing wrong. They do everything wrong in some cases. This is one of them. They need to differentiate between Hangouts on Air done as a YouTube Live event and a YouTube Live streaming. Because I don't consider a Hangout on Air to be live streaming. To do live streaming to me indicates an encoder and the whole 9 yards.
Oh, I just
And that's where people are getting confused.
Live streaming incorporates a lot of different options.
Live streaming
including Google Hangouts and including
Agreed.
Facebook Live and Periscope. But yeah, it's all live streaming.
And see, if we're teaching the concept of live streaming, there's so much more to consider. There's having the right camera, having the right microphone, how to perform in front of the camera and the microphone, how to arrange your environment so that it's acceptable, lighting,
Yep.
all these things cause
That's true. And if it's a separate business like Periscope or WebEx or any of the others, that's fine, but they don't intermingle terms like Google does. It's Google's use of their own terminology that I'm objecting to.
But I think
that leads to the confusion.
And I think that'll get sorted out eventually. There's just so much transition going on in the last 6 months with.
I'm going to help sort it out.
So.
The people who update my teaching will be set straight.
Yeah. The term Hangout is one of the worst ones in Google because, and I see it in user all of the time where people are saying, oh, I'm doing a Hangout live, la-da-dee-da-da-dee-da, and they're asking questions, and then you find out down the stream, well, they're really talking about a chat.
Mm-hmm.
Not talking about a Hangout at all.
Not a Hangout on air, it's just a Hangout,
You've got a Hangout text message, you've got the Hangout video call, and you've got the Hangout on air. Yeah. Google has led to the entire problem by using the same word for 3 different applications.
Yeah. And so I want to be able to clear up some of the misnomers there. But the main thing is that people get the idea of recording live events and displaying it on video. And I'm going to use the most prolific platforms around, which to me has always been Hangouts on Air and YouTube.
Well, let's face it, I built a whole community around that.
Yeah, that's true. And so that's where we'll start, and I'm just betting that Hangouts will be around a lot longer. And if they go away, then we'll find a new platform and keep on going.
I just hope that as they develop it, they'll look at a name change along with everything else.
Maybe.
I don't care if they do or not. We're going to use it.
And you might want to check your stats. I'm not so sure that Hangouts is the biggest platform.
I don't want the biggest platform. I just want something that's really.
Well, you said the most prolific. But
well, it may be eventually if people find out that it's so usable and free.
I don't know. People have really resisted it for some reason. And
I'll let them go ahead and resist it. I'm going to teach them.
I think there are still people who will use it. But
I don't need the masses
a lot of people
to follow me. I just need my little niche group to say yes.
Yep.
And I'm not sure it's Hangout that people are resisting. I think it might be the changes that are constantly ongoing in Google that people are resisting.
What I hear the most from people, because I was really trying to promote this for business clients too, and I would get so many people, even if I invite them to come on my interview show, I'd get people who are like, oh, no, I don't do Hangouts. And their biggest complaints were the delay with the chat and that the video and audio stream are not reliable. There are problems with it, but there are problems with GoToWebinar too. So I don't find any more problems with Hangouts, but all it takes is for somebody to have one bad experience with it, and some people, they'll never try it again because of that.
And
And
luckily,
especially if they tried it early on when it was less stable.
luckily they're the mass millions who have never even heard of it yet. So our market is wide open.
Yeah, yeah. As long as they're not followers of one of these other people who is going around bad mouthing it all the time.
Oh, I don't care. I'm not following them either. So
I'm just telling you, they're out there, because I've
Oh,
tried
yeah.
I've tried to schedule some of those people for interviews, and they're like, nope. In fact, then they start telling everybody in their following that, no, don't try Google Hangouts. It's not worth it, or, it just drives me crazy that they could be so closed-minded about it. So,
yeah, I don't hold threat to any of this stuff going on, because I think it's a whole new era, and I think there are a lot of people who will be listening, who will come along and meet me. They'll say, well, I've heard all this stuff about Hangouts, and I say, well, you've heard wrong. So if you want to take a look, let's do this.
yeah,
And
I think once the new system is kind of stabilized, and
yes.
because right now, as Bill said, there are a lot of changes going on. But
And if I'm able to do this thing with this plugin that nobody else has been able to do,
so they can do it on their website, I think
they're
that
going
would
to
be a
have
big plus.
hardly
Yeah.
any place to turn that would be better.
Yeah.
So,
Being able to run it on your own WordPress site is a big draw, I think.
and I'll have
But
my
let's
own
not
little
forget
niche.
that plugin still starts out in Hangouts and YouTube Live, does it not?
No, actually, it doesn't. It depends upon YouTube being set up, but it then goes to the WordPress site and incorporates the setup of the event itself, where you place the live or a pre-recorded event into the plugin of your choice. Whichever, either is a event coming up or this event already done, and then that'll display in your website. So it is dependent upon the video being at least live and upcoming or recorded already. But it
So where
doesn't.
does that happen?
Schedule it in YouTube.
Right. So the scheduling in YouTube and scheduling it as an event in WordPress will be two different things. Well, so is it setting up an event page, or so is doing unified chat.
Yeah.
You have to have one before the other, and then you build
Right.
upon that.
Right.
But
That's
the
doable.
WordPress thing pretty much stands alone, other than the fact that you've got to have an event URL.
Okay.
So that much, it has to be an event coming up soon, and then you can broadcast that live.
And that event is in YouTube.
Yes. Which, if you're going to depend upon any platform to help run your programming, I'd rather it be YouTube than anybody else. Because they've been around and they're bigger, they're not going anywhere, so.
That's true.
So pretty much if you're resting on YouTube as the platform, and they've been authorizing and sanctioning this embedding concept long before any of this went on, the YouTube videos are pretty much a given, So it's going to be live and recorded and archived in YouTube, and be able to reproduce live. That's ultimately the best way to go. I don't care if other people have better quality video or whatever the case is. I would still go with YouTube because it's the most well-rounded platform received by the most people. It's accepted as opposed to anything else.
So the video that shows on your website, you still have to go into YouTube and set up an event.
Yes.
So it's a YouTube video on your website,
Yes.
is it not? You don't have a separate
Yes, it is.
recorder on your website.
No.
No.
No,
Okay,
you actually
so-
take a YouTube URL and enter it in the plugin.
Right.
Yeah, that's the premise.
And actually, Google Hangouts has had the ability to do that in theory for a couple of years, but I never got it to work right for me.
As far as what aspect of that?
To be able to have a player on your WordPress site that would play the Hangout live.
I've been doing that for a few months now.
Well, this was 2 years ago that I first learned that you could do that. And
Yeah, I don't think there's been any restriction from that, but most people didn't know how to verify their website to get the API compatible with the live broadcast, which they finally described in YouTube, and everyone was starting to complain about it. It's like, oh yeah, you have to do this to get it to play live, otherwise you're restricted by YouTube. And it's like, well, you know, they want you to be verified. In order to be YouTube complete, you have to have a website, you have to have this and that, you have to have a Google Plus account, you have to have all these basic things, and then it all integrates flawlessly if you do these basic things.
Well, and it makes sense that you would have to have your website verified for Google. Otherwise, somebody could put in anybody's website URL, and
You bet.
you know, it's like that doesn't make any sense. That
Absolutely.
seems very reasonable to me that you'd have to verify, and frankly, it's not that hard.
Yeah. And so when people were trying to play them live and they'd go to their website and it's like, why isn't it streaming? Why isn't it live? You know, it's like very simple. Just a couple of little steps.
Yeah. All right. Well, it sounds interesting. I will look forward to hearing more about it.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll keep you all informed, and thank you very much for your participation.
Nice to meet you, Susan.
Nice meeting you too.
Is this the first time you've met Susan?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Bill I've met on Roland's show a few times, but I have not met Andrew before.
Well, I'm glad to have the Great Hands meeting in
Yeah.
my green room, so thank you very much. All right.
Hey,
Then we'll
Roland,
see everybody, and we're going to stop going live.
I'm going to reach out to you in a message too. I'm having trouble. I haven't done in my Hangout show for a couple months now because I haven't gotten the changeover from Google Plus events. So.
Oh, it's a simple thing. An hour, and you'll be squared away.
Yeah, I had some posts that somebody shared, but I ran into questions with it and haven't figured it out. So.
Yeah. When I show you what to do, you're going to go, oh, is that easy?
Yeah.
No problem. So let's arrange a time available, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever.
Okay. I will send you a private message in Google.
Sounds good.
All right. Bye,
Take care,
everybody.
y'all. Bye.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you later on. And Bill, I'll see you later. Going to sign off and have some breakfast.
That's what I'm having.
Okay. We'll see you guys. Bye-bye.